So guys, it's been from one drama to another as Nnamdi Kanu appeared again in court today. We know that they've been coming up with so many video clips, looking for evidence that will indict him, considering the terrorism charge that the federal government is now holding against him. I've seen so many headlines where people are saying, oh, Nnamdi Kanu is finished, that there are so many evidence that, the federal government lawyers went and dug out, strong evidences against him and that he's not going to escape this one. See, what you have to know is that all these things happening, Nnamdi Kanu is not even supposed to be tried here. Some of these videos, he did them when he was in the UK, because you have to consider, where was this, assuming it's a crime, where was it committed? These are some of the things. And also, they are also bringing up some charges that, the court has previously struck out. So why bring them back again? Just that desperation to look for something to hold against him. I think at the end of the day, the federal government will get to know that Nnamdi Kanu does not have anything against the government. Instead, the government created the vacuum that led to this agitation. And that was how we got to where we are today. So guys, for the transcript of what happened today in court, I'm going to be reading that towards the end of this video. But I urge you to take your time and listen to some of these reactions coming as a result of Nnamdi Kanu's trial. And let me know your honest reaction in the comment section below. Now, see you at the end of this video. Take a look.
High Court sitting in Abuja yesterday, he admitted in evidence video clips containing a series of inflammatory broadcasts that were made by Nnamdi Kanu. The video, which were contained in a flash drive, were played in the open court after the federal government tendered them through an operative of the Department of State Services, DSS, which was codenamed,
purported to have said, please, did you not see other people that are acting it out in the full glare of everybody? You are prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu, but you refuse to prosecute those people who have taken hostage some communities and states in the north, hoisting their flag, declaring their own state of whatever is the Islamic State. No, what do you call that one? They come today. A certain Sheikh Tenshi declared that the Tinubu's wife is an infant, and the Secretary General are telling you now to protect yourself against these killer headsmen and terrorists. So they have validated what he was saying. They have validated it. So the federal government should be brought to that court to answer for that particular order. They have ordered us to protect ourselves. The army chief said it. The NSS said it. So the federal government, that court should be brought there for them to come and tell us why they ask Nigerians to arm themselves and protect themselves. That human said it. All of them should come to that court and tell us why they say we should arm ourselves and protect ourselves.
Barrister Darlington, I want to say this again. Now, the witness who read from the letter insisted that Kanu's broadcast were followed by coordinated attacks on police stations and correctional facilities, resulting in the loss of lives and, of course, property.
They come in today. The army barracks that have been terrorized and the soldiers killed many years after this worker was said to have been done. It was Kanu that caused it, Abi. Please answer this question. It's very important. These other terrorists that have sacked army barracks, complete army units, kill our soldiers in scores. It was Kanu's broadcast, Abi.
Barrister, what you're saying this morning is quite different from the information we got from the court. You're saying that this man is completely innocent.
No, it cannot be different. It's the same. It's the same act of violence that they are claiming that Nnamdi Kanu caused. Tell me, what is the difference? These other people that have sacked army barracks, kill them, kill our military. It was Nnamdi Kanu.
Kanu has been, he has been cited several times, calling Nigeria several names. All right, he has been heard like Nigeria is a zoo, Nigeria is and he called for resistance against what he termed as Fulani domination, just as he accused Igbo political leaders of betraying their people and so many other things. And so many people are feeling, no, this is inciting violence. Okay,
and I'm asking you, violence that you are seeing today, is it not 10 times, in fact 100 times worse than Nnamdi Kanu was said to have said? Was it caused by him? Hold on. Was it caused by him? Answer me. I don't get it. Why are you singling out Nnamdi Kanu and leaving the main issue?
No,
you and your federal government with this money, no.
Barrister Darlington. Barrister Darlington. See, I am a journalist and I look at all sides of a story. I am only trying to reel out some of. Hold on, Barrister Darlington.
The side you are looking at in this money is
hold on. We've been talking about the issue of Nnamdi Kanu all this while. You know, I've been somebody who's been pushing for the release of this man. Yes, on air and off air. But we're trying to look at issues this morning that's been raised by the federal government, and we'll look at it the other way. There are two sides to a coin always. All right. What we believe, what we heard is different from what the court is saying. The recent, comments by the court. Now, again, the court is saying, I know where I'm going to on this matter. Now, the court is also saying, or showed us a footage from NSAS protest, okay, where Kanu was seen directing attacks on police.
Is it not worse? So why is it that nobody has been called out the same way you are calling Nnamdi Kanu out?
I understand, Barrister. I understand this part you're towing, but what we want to know is it guilty or not guilty?
He's not guilty. He's a self-determination group. He's the leader of a self-determination group. No other nation in the whole world has seen Nnamdi Kanu as a terrorist, except you and your government.
I have listened.
Except you and your government.
The last time I checked, you are still in Nigeria, and of course APC is still leading. Ruling you and I. Hold on, Mr. Barrister Darlington.
Yes, they said he who wears the shoe know where it's pinching. This propaganda against the Igbos must stop.
Apparently, one of the prosecuting witness, who obviously is a second witness being brought from the prosecuting counsel, said that Nnamdi Kanu admitted, because according to what he said, the first time they interviewed Nnamdi Kanu, or rather when they interrogated him without his legal representative, that Nnamdi Kanu admitted to operating an unlicensed and illegal radio station. And when I saw the report, I thought it was an online, because we have a lot of online radio stations, we have a lot of online broadcasts that do not necessarily have any frequency modulation, which you can consider to be terrestrial. But this witness said that, for example, this DSS official who was behind a green screen, he explained that Kanu acknowledged his involvement in operating Radio Biafra, which broadcast on frequencies 102.1 FM and 88.0 FM without the necessary license from the National Broadcasting Commission, and that Kanu admitted that the voice in the broadcast, which included calls for attacks on police officers, were indeed his own. And then they also asked Nnamdi Kanu if indeed he made public broadcasts, or rather they asked the prosecuting witness if he made public broadcasts making statements that persons should go burn down certain persons' buildings and properties. I don't know if you recall, that was when we had the COVID-19 situation, when some palliatives were discovered. I'm sure you heard some voice notes that went viral, and there were some instructions being given. But my question is this: is it possible to have is it coming in for inspection? Because the modus here is, once you get your license, before you start even doing a test broadcast, the NBC must come into that radio station. They will inspect the facility, they will check your equipment, your transmitter. If you must have 2 power generators, like standby generators, 2 of them, they must ensure that you have everything up to par according to standard. So is it possible to operate a radio station without the oversight functions of the NBC in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's very, very possible.
It's very possible?
Yeah, because now there are a lot of gadgets that have been developed over time.
We're speaking of way back in 2015.
Yeah.
When they first confiscated all the equipment they had.
It's just that Nigeria is still far behind in terms of technological advancement. In various parts of the world, like we know, are aware of, there are a lot of gadgets you could actually use to transmit. Was up. I think I was even hearing a lot of you could hear some people from
Yes.
their phones
Yes.
who were really interested, listening to a frequency, and you will ask yourself, how did they get in contact? How did they get the information that there's a frequency like this? So it now boils down to the interest of the people who really want to hear and feed off that message. And what is now left for the NBC and the regulatory bodies to do is to monitor and find out where this frequency
But
is
don't
coming
you
from.
think this indicts the NBC that a radio station was operating, according to them, unregistered, illegal, unlicensed, and according to what this DSS operative was saying, that he was making incisive and spewing comments that could divide the unity of Nigeria, and then obviously asking for the 5 southeastern states, including Kogi and Benue, to no longer be part of Nigeria, working towards it, and then calling for persons' properties to be burnt and or whatnot. So it took them so long to know they're visiting that radio station. In fact, they need to monitor your signal bandwidth so that you don't clash signals or frequency with other radio stations. Sometimes you see some locations that some radio stations are clashing, and there's a limit that your signal is giving. You don't surpass a certain angle or region or location based on what you paid for. I don't know if you get my drift.
Yeah.
So with all of this, the NBC records. In fact, right here in the studio, sometimes when our callers make some statements that is why we tell our callers, be careful with what you say. When they make some inciting statements and the presenter or the anchor does not caution them, NBC has the recording, has the details, has the list. They will write a letter to the radio station, and you could be sanctioned.
The thing is that in as much as the modalities for NBC to track what is happening in terms of what goes on through the air,
Okay.
there will still be some miscreants who will surely foundation. I think the regulation of that is quite minimal, and it's really, really sad that we even see kidnappers and bandits even broadcasting the money they get from ransom and so on and so forth. Until today, they're still doing it and getting away with it. It's pretty sad.
Meanwhile, his sister-in-law today was asked to walk out of the court because she was streaming the live session on her social media platform. According to her, she said she did not know that the judge was still sitting, but she pleaded and asked that please she be forgiven, that she did not know that she wasn't supposed to do that. If you notice, most of the contents of the trial, we've been reading it based on correspondents who were there to cover the trial.
That is the procedure.
That's the procedure.
Such a big
exactly.
case.
They don't want any media interference or media trial, and in that regard, basically they had to ban her from coming in subsequently for other trial proceedings of her brother-in-law. Now let's look at the chaos that erupted today in the house between lawmakers in the House of Reps, and that's because of the consistent spate of insecurity that has been going on. Today is warning that if urgent steps are not taken, Nigerians may turn on their elected representatives. This person mentioned that according to him, he says that the governor is raising okay, so this is what they said. Somebody responded to their cries by saying, when the governor is crying and somebody within the comfort of his own says the governor is raising an unnecessary alarm, that they are rascals, meanwhile Nigerians are being killed, that this is unacceptable. This person is Gagdi. He mentioned that his constituency, which includes Chibok, he gave a chilling update that 10 peasant farmers were slaughtered in Poka, 14 in Chibok, even military officers in Isge and Kampo and Wajiboko. Boko Haram used weaponized drones. Do you understand the sophistication within the ambit of these terrorists, the kind of weapons that they have? Weaponized drones. Our military do not have weaponized drones to check where these guys camp and clear
funds that is meant for them to buy weapons and get the necessary allowances.
Okay.
You're already endangering the lives they're supposed to protect from foreign and the non-state actors.
True.
Because I recently saw a video we saw about 1,000 number of bandits. They were sending messages that they are prepared to attack Nigeria. So
imagine
there's a new reinforcement going on from these non-state actors.
You can imagine.
To attack Nigeria. So the question is, why now? And what is the situation like when it comes to the president and the security apparatus? What are they even doing? It's like business as usual. Nobody.
The last time I heard the president was in a security meeting, a closed door meeting with security operatives. I thought that he was in this meeting with these guys because of the insecurity in the country, but it was because of River State. it was after the emergence of that closed door meeting with the security chiefs that we heard a state of emergency. He did a live broadcast immediately after the meeting where he declared a state of emergency in reverse. Immediately he heard of that pipeline explosion, he called on the chief of staff, chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, DSS, then in that closed door meeting, and that evening he did a live broadcast where he called for a state of emergency in reverse. At this point, has it gotten for him to have a closed door session with the chief of staff to all the security agencies and ask them what is going on? We give you, we budget money to you, we give you allocation. We've been hearing issues of Benue State is literally going through what you call an existential crisis. They just want to survive. It seems like there is an agenda to completely clear them out and possibly resettle with foreign elements.
Attempted genocide.
You can imagine that. You can imagine that. And it is gradually encroaching even up to the southwest here. If people think that they are safe or they feel that their anomaly is not heavy here, so possibly it's not their business. For this chaotic incident at the House of Reps today, it tells you that even some of these representatives are APC representatives. They are not PDP or whatever. And there was a shouting bout amongst themselves. So how will the government react to this? Would they say it's a lie? Would they say they're just exaggerating like they normally do when you call out what the reality is?
Yeah, that's what you get when, for instance, any dissenting voice is taken as somebody who wants to rant and score political points. You know, people's lives are now being taken for which one is more important than the other. And Tinubu should not forget that in 2015, what was really the major story was the Chibok girls that were kidnapped.
Exactly.
And insecurity was a major issue. How should you have to wait for something as big as Chibok for it to get media traction? Then we'll not take Boko Haram serious, because each time the military come and tell us they've annihilated a large amount of terrorists, it looks like the terrorists, the moment you kill 10, 200 pops up 2 months or 2 weeks later. Zamfara is being terrorized. Let's ask America how they fought the Al Qaeda, how they fought. I think Syria was witnessing something like this, and how they were able to at least quench this bandits and so-called terrorists. But all of a sudden, the thing is that when I think the body language of the government has continued to encourage Boko Haram and other terrorists, because when they see that the government play politics with the whole thing, some other bandits will wake up tomorrow, because now we're dealing with Boko Haram. What if tomorrow the Niger Delta militants pops up?
I'm telling you, I just gave you examples in here.
You look at it as propaganda.
Is that what?
You see that as propaganda, right?
It is not. I am telling you of a man who threatened the wife of the president of Nigeria openly, and nobody even called him to question, not to talk of arrest or prosecution. It can't be treated. What do you call that? So some people now, they are above the law in Nigeria, abi? No, that one is not reasonable enough. Do you know that if you threaten Tinubu's wife, you are threatening Tinubu himself? Yeah? Is that not an offense? Evil treatment against the Igbo and against Nnamdi Kanu. That's what we are saying here. That's what I'm saying here. Every time Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, let's leave this issue, Barrister Darlington Agumo. Thank you so much. But then, I hope we do come back to revisit this issue, because whether we like it or not, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditionally. All right? Of course, yes. Yes, I've been
because it can be cheated. Yes, based on the fact that Showore has been released. Sunday Bo has been released. Your sins are forgiven, yes.
Your sins will be forgiven. So maybe we should just ask.
But Nnamdi Kanu is not a member, he's not a politician. And I don't think he's the one to join any. He's fighting for a cause. Let the federal government call him the same way they have been rehabilitating terrorists in the north. Let them call Nnamdi Kanu on a round table so that issues will be discussed. They have been talking with terrorists, rehabilitating them, pampering them. What are you saying? Is it not when you treat a child the same way you treat others, that there will be peace in that land? Any father who refuses to treat his children equally is causing for problem in that house. That child that you are maltreating, one day he will set fire on that house. Everybody will run away. That's the truth.
Well, like I said, I'm only reading out, what is contained in the evidence, right, against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's quickly move out of that story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, the initiative which he described as a national emergency response was launched virtually on Monday under the banner of the Big Tent Coalition shadow government. Maybe you want to throw, light on that, and so we move on.
I don't think there's anything wrong with there, because they are talking of parliamentary system, presidential system. You can see these people. Whenever he sues them, they choose what to take and what not to take. What is wrong in what the erudite professor is saying? He said they want to provide alternative government and then offer solution. What is wrong there? And you are not telling me, except you are in parliamentary system, you will not have to leave the name. Look at the intention.
From Elasa.
Okay.
They can do them. Insecurity. We have been hearing for the last 2 weeks or last month ago by this president's administration. When we went to from France to UK, we came back. All we hear that we summoned the security chiefs, urged them. And we can see when the chief security called the army, that we are uncling, yes sir. Since after then, what has happened? Back-to-back killings in the southern Kaduna, in Plateau, in Benue. All we are still hearing. You can do the things, you are a journalist. What is actually time when people saw that the government is no more interested in protecting the life of property which they swear an oath to protect? What is the appropriate time for people to agitate, maybe to resign of the president? Because I am in Tamba, it has enough for me. I don't know what I'm right to shouting Trumbu and his government to resign, because they are no more protecting the life and property which they swear an oath to protect. So what is the next level? Another massive killing in Bolonu, which the state.
Your time is up. I told you just push your matter and let it go, okay, everyone. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Chief.
Okay.
I'm calling from Baga.
Okay.
What we are talking about, the injustice in this country is not good. They are oppressing one section of the economy of the region. It's not fair. Well, from all what is going on in the north, they will catch terrorists. Those ones are killing, wiping generation, wiping village. They will come.
Done so many terrible things, and most of them were released. Only because of why Nnamdi Kanu is there is because he is an Igbo man. So I know the game they are playing, they just want to silence the Igbo people, but their game will be over very soon. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, John, for talking to us this morning. My time is really short this morning, so that's what I'm saying. 1 minute each. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I always enjoy your program.
Thank you.
God bless you, my brother. You know what is there is that Kalu, what's his name? The former governor of Abia State. These are people that are supposed to be advocating for Igbos, but what are they doing? They are uploading and politicking with any government in power. So I believe the leaders, if they have strong leaders and that you know what to do, they will be the ones to advocate for this man's release. That is just my contribution to this.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah. Hello, good morning to you. What's your name and where you calling from? Good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that one. Please call back if you can, okay? Thank you so much. 0700 903 903 903. We Igbos didn't do anything to Nigerians, and it stands as it stands today. It's just a question of time. David from Ikwaja. Okay, thank you so much. Let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good morning to you.
Good Good morning, my brother. I have a lot of from Ikeja.
Okay.
Yeah, on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, I think the federal government has chased this shadow. I know, because almost 10 years now they are still disturbing the country because of one man. And we have millions of issues in the north concerning terrorism. And you are just pursuing a man, you are just making a statement. The people that are carrying guns, killing people, chasing people from ancestral home, we are sleeping, pampering them, granting them amnesty. There's somebody that I just saw, he's taking you 10 years to prosecute him. People that we are behaving like person that is not serious. So let them release this one and face the real problem of Nigeria.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much. Somebody saying when he ordered the death of when he ordered that weekend Tinubu should be killed, was that headsman order? That's what he's saying. Is that headsman too? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ekamejude.
Good morning to you.
How are you this morning?
Great. Let's go.
Okay, this is Daniel from Idimu.
Okay.
Okay, Shola actually said about the Igbo politicians that they are not playing their role in terms of the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I always disagree with whosoever that brought that to the table, because I remember that the Igbo governors, all the Igbo governors have gone to see the president over the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I remember that also the Ohaneze Ndigbo, as they have also gone to see him over that, yet nothing happened. I remember Iwanya, it was the issue of Nnamdi Kanu that actually contributed to Iwanya's death, because I remember when Iwanya was going to visit Nnamdi Kanu, the DSS made him to walk the distance that he was not supposed to walk, because the man was very sick and he couldn't use his vehicle. They say he cannot go with vehicle, he has to trek. So the man has to trek down to very, very far place, and after seeing Nnamdi Kanu, that was how that man was hospitalized, and he did not survive from that sickness. Right. So it is not in the hand of the Igbo politicians. I think the federal government has the power either to keep him or to release him. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, let me read more messages now. Gandhi should talk about what he's saying. Gandhi should talk about having a tougher border control to avoid penetration of bandits, arresting of those bandits that have killed people and take over their lands. As for Abure, I think he's holding on to power to cover up his financial mess during the last election. On the video evidence for Kanu case at court, Buhari said he doesn't know the technology used to create the video of Gandude stuffing dollars inside his babariga. So Kanu's video might be fake, and this court case will mistakenly do what now? What are you trying to say? Will mistakenly expose what the Fulanis are planning in Nigeria. Okay, let me talk to you now. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Innocent. I'm calling from Amuwodo.
Let's go, Innocent. 1 minute.
Please, I want to talk about Nnamdi Kanu and the federal government and the courts. Please, what Nnamdi Kanu said is somehow wrong, but for what is happening now, we are not believing him because government did not prove him wrong. What he's saying is wrong, but for what is happening now, we have forced to believe Nnamdi Kanu for whatever he said, because whatever Nnamdi Kanu has said now have come to pass. But for saying it that time, we see it as the wrong way. Everybody know that it's not good to say something like that. But for what we are on ground today, he's right. Government of Nigeria, the court is wrong.
Thank you.
Unless if the government of Nigeria will try to do otherwise to prove him wrong.
Thank you.
That's the only way we can now know that yes. And for what the governor of Anambra State and Tinubu and others, I don't know if Tinubu wants to succeed. He doesn't need to. That man will promise him and he will pay him before 2027.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Abure and his gangs are all jokers. The Supreme Court has since sacked him as the chairman of the Labour Party. The acting chairperson, Senator Nnamdi, has set a committee to probe the disgraced former chairman Abure. People like Abure, Apapa, Lamidi are hell-bent on destroying the Labour Party from within. Meanwhile, the use of drones and model technologies should be deployed to counter terrorism or terrorists occupying our forests rather than building a military base in the north or in the bush. Nigerians must wake up and begin to choose the best of us to rule the rest of us to get the best from us. May God help and heal our land. Franco Nero, thank you so much. Okay, let's talk to you. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Ekamejude. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Peter Oman says my name from Shomolu.
Let's go.
Now, Ekamejude, Sunday when the DSS visited his house, whether those guns were planted or were actually owned by Igbo, at least they saw some guns and they killed people. They were fighting. The such a thing happened in the case of Nnamdi Kanu. The same testimonies or witnesses said that when they got to Nnamdi Kanu's hotel, they did not even find even a 6-inch nail. Anything that you could say is an instrument that can harm somebody. So tell me, okay, defend yourself. Everybody now is saying defend yourself. Even the government people are saying defend yourself. That's what Nnamdi Kanu said. Okay, some governors now, some states are banning all these terrorists that are carrying cows and AK-47. That's the same thing Nnamdi Kanu said. Then stay at home. Don't go out there so that they will not kill you. Let us honor our fallen heroes. What is a crime in that? You see, this thing is that the federal government, like some people say, I am tempted to say this as well, that the Igbos are just targeted. They tried with the civil war. They could not finish them. And Babangida told us that the war was not caused by the Igbos. Some people carry war and go to Igbo and they could not finish them. And now
thank you.
They want to use some tactical means to finish them.
Thank you.
This thing will stop one day by the grace of God.
You. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see if we can take some more. Prince Ayotek, I see your message. Thank you so much. Bosun Wache, your message is well cited. Good morning, Judah. I just want to greet you. Okay, from OPG from Ojo Alaba. From Alaba International, rather. Okay, thank you so much. What's your name now? Good morning. One-party system is dangerous in Nigeria. Jonathan Tinubu is happy with one-party system, whether it's dangerous or not, as far as he is benefiting from the system. Okay, Leo from Lagos, thank you so much. HRH Bisunwoko in Oshodi, thank you so much. I see your message. Benjamin from Shogunle, thank you so much. Mayor from Ikotun, I also appreciate it. Mazi Gochuku, thank you so very much, everyone. What's your name now? Rufai Hosseini wants to know the charges against VDM by EFCC. Okay. Good morning to you, VOP family. It's now clear that Nnamdi Kanu is detained for two reasons. One is because he is an Igbo man, and two is because he called for the resistance against Fulani. May God save our land. I'm meeting from Mafoluku. Thank you so much. Eziulo from Satellite Town, I want to say thank you, big one to you. Upon what basis is federal government prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu? Court has ruled that his rendition is illegal and unconstitutional. Pascal Chimeze from Ikeja, thank you so much for that message. The government will definitely release Kanu. The government is only trying to avert another civil war. You know, Ojukwu, rest in peace, said another civil war is not necessary. Thanks, Ishaba. Okay, let's see if we can talk to okay, I will give you just 1 minute also to talk to us. Prince Chilaka is here. Good morning to you, Prince Chilaka. 1 minute.
Well, when it comes to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, I have always maintained that the leaders in the Southeast are culpable for whatever anyone is going through in the Southeast. Be it detention, be it killing, be it marginalization, because we just have a bunch of greedy, selfish people in the Southeast as leaders who only think of themselves. They don't think of others. I believe that if the Southeast leaders are serious, the elders are serious, the Nzes and the Ezes are serious, Nnamdi Kanu would have been out. But no, the greed and selfishness, because they know what Nnamdi Kanu preaches against, and that is good governance. He doesn't want anybody who does not have character to be a leader in the Southeast.
Okay.
And because of that, they will never want him out. And that's the truth. So let us stop saying federal government or no federal government. The Igbo leaders know what they are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Prince. Let me let you know that I will be with the doctor today again. All right. He promised to be here every Thursday. Okay, so let's talk. Your health is important, and we delve into issues people really don't discuss as regards you, your wife, your children, your family, and some other issues. Okay.
When you mention African nationalists and heroes, the name of Nnamdi Kanu will be mentioned. I repeat, when you mention the names of Africans who fought for their people, when you list out their names, Nnamdi Kanu, his name would be amongst. So Nnamdi Kanu is an important figure to Africa and Africa's liberation. He talks about his people and the liberation of his people from the imperialists. The imperialists, the Fulani, who is a willing tool for the imperialists, and every other person that is a willing tool for the imperialists that created a system to destroy Africans. So Nnamdi Kanu is not just somebody who is fighting for Biafra. He's also somebody who is fighting for the liberation of the African people. Today is 7th of May 2025. Nnamdi Kanu is in court. Now, a different approach by the prosecution council. We have the prosecution council, the defense council. The federal government is the prosecution council. Now, federal government, they take Nnamdi Kanu to go court. Now, the defense council, the lawyers and IPOB and everybody that is defending themselves against the attack of the federal government. An African liberator, a person that is fighting for the liberation of the black man in Africa. So what transpired today? A different approach. The audio clips of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been brought to the court, used as evidence against him. The audio clips of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let's look at one of the audio clips. Now, audio broadcasts plays in court. MNK Kanu says, Biafra will be restored in our time, not through ESN, but through referendum. The words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the audio is playing. Anywhere you attack our mothers, we will attack you. We don't want war, but don't kill us. And so, from the broadcast, Nnamdi Kanu gives vote of thanks to the listeners. Other audios being played in the court to incriminate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Okay, let's look at another one. We have this. Okay, one of the audios. Kanu speaks about the shedding of blood of innocent Biafrans, the same way they killed our people in Obigbo, Delta, and other states, that we IPOB must stop them. Invaders came from Niger, Chad, and other African countries to kill our people. Fulani incursion in our land can never work. These are from the audio in the court. They have managed to fragment and divide our people, and IPOB must defend our lands until the Fulani terrorist presence is eliminated. Governors came to do the bidding of the caliphate. That is the Southeast governors. Somebody commented that the governors doesn't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released because they are loyal to the caliphate. When you ask people questions, what is the caliphate? The caliphate is the Fulani agenda, the Fulani governance, the Fulani authority, the Fulani lordship. Any police officer who supports the killing of a Biafran will be held accountable for it. The land of Biafra is under occupation. These are the things that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was saying in the audio. ESN is here to bring an end to these Fulani killings. Therefore, ESN must protect our people. Kidnapping, killing, and destruction must end. Also, he says, it is very disheartening and discouraging that the international community has done nothing which hurts and undermines the sincerity of our people. Transcripts from the audio that is being played. Now, it continues. Nnamdi Kanu says, tomorrow May 30th, we must honor them. There must be complete lockdown, peace and calm, because the day is critical in our lives. May 30th is an anniversary day for Biafra. IPOB is a peaceful movement. Our enemies are planning to start a roadside massacre against us. Biafra must be in lock and keys as we remember the fallen heroes and heroines. A complete lockdown so the enemy won't have any excuse to kill and blame us. Fulanis will do anything to provoke our people. Tomorrow morning should be peaceful. Part of the audio played in the court. Okay, let's look at this one. A minute silence for those who were killed to protect our land. We will remain eternally grateful to them for defending us. A large number of Biafrans were slaughtered while the world turned a blind eye. We shall honor those who have passed away defending us. We shall remember our heroes. Britain supplied the Fulanis with weapons to kill us, even though they brought Christianity to us. Now he prayed for the fallen heroes in that audio broadcast. Now there's also a broadcast about his conversation with Ohaneze or with Igbo leaders, I think in the UK. So he has been speaking about the shedding of blood of innocent Biafrans, how people have been killed in southeast Nigeria, speaking against the Fulani Caliphate. That is why the Fulani did all they can, even though it will spend millions of dollars, even though they will spend the country's budget, they did all they can. That's why even the opportunity they had in Kenya, they went above protocol to carry him into Nigeria. They did the unthinkable. They went against, allegedly, accusingly, they went against international laws to bring in Nnamdi Kanu, that is the Fulani, Malami and co. A letter was also presented in court, and that letter, the one that was disputed the last time, the evidence that was disputed the last time, that letter was written by Malami, ordering for the arrest of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as evidence, because he was accused of inciting the people against the government. You know, any small thing you do, it is incitement. And they had them. They don't bring treasonable offense, put for your head. So the federal government, the prosecution council, is trying to find any means possible, with any evidence they can lay their hands on. They are trying to make sure that they find an evidence against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But let's know that most of these allegations, most of these count charges, have been struck out by a competent court of jurisdiction. And if you are going to link Nnamdi Kanu with the killings, first, let's address how did he come into Nigeria. That one first and first. Except the government wants to play a part of injustice in running this Nnamdi Kanu's case. Don't forget that it is the Igbos that are in DSS custody. The whole Igbo nation. Forget all these leaders, forget all these governors, forget them. The Igbos are in DSS custody. Whatever that is done to Nnamdi Kanu is done to the Igbos yet again. I remember, you see, there's always a time people will stand up to the oppressor. There's always a time. So the federal government needs to follow the normal routes of justice and fairness with Nnamdi Kanu's case. He should be released so that we can forge a path for Southeast progress. How Southeast will move on, because it is inevitable that Nigeria will be restructured. Whether Tinubu like it or not, it is inevitable. You see, the signs are showing this is an appointed time for people like Sunday Igboho, Akintola, for people like Nnamdi Kanu and others to rise up at this particular point in time. Tells you a lot about how Africa must be free by force. For people like Ibrahim Traore to rise up, these young men at this point in time, tells you that this is an appointed time for Nigeria to get restructured. We know that the presidency, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are using the opportunity they have in power to empower the Southwest. We know that. That one is not a hidden thing. We know that the Southwest are very much well empowered under Tinubu's regime. Like the way Northerners, especially people from Katsina, Buhari's home state, were empowered during Buhari's regime. That is an APC legacy. Nepotism, it is APC legacy. We agree with that. Nobody's arguing with anybody. But upon that, we know that Nigeria has limited time because it has to restructure. Nigeria is the focal point of, I think, Africa holds the last civilization. The world is going to end in Africa. That is why everybody, you see, all this shaking happening between China and US, this and that. At the end of the day, Africa will become a world power. At the end of the day, it may not be in my time and in your time, but we will plant seeds, we will sow seeds. The earliest civilization from Africa. Because I don't know why people look down on themselves. Even though Nigerians, they move too much. I don't know why people look down on themselves. So Nnamdi Kanu is a national treasure. Nnamdi Kanu is not just an ordinary Biafran or an ordinary Igbo man. Mind you, Nnamdi Kanu was fighting for one Nigeria before, until he realized and looked at some things and said, well, this system, my brother, Nigeria would have been a better place. But you see, the foundation, the people controlling Nigeria from behind the scene, they have what it takes. They are empowered. They are gaining from the I don't know, the unfortunate thing. See, they are gaining from the sufferings of Nigerians. If Nigeria is not industrialized, they are happy. It is to their benefit. If the economy is not moving forward, it is to their benefit. If Nigerians are slaves, it is to their benefit. If we are practicing democracy, which is a scam, it is to their benefit. So whatever evil that is happening to us, it is to their benefit. So they are setting standards for us. They created this democracy. They created this our 1999 constitution so that Nigeria will never get better. And power is in their hands. They have been able to use puppets. Is that you have a corruption case against you, or they have a way to control you? Somebody was doing an analogy on France. I think this doctor from northern Nigeria, it said Mali chased France away. France has been in these countries for over 60 years, yet no development. Instead, France have been stealing from these countries and enriching their people. They don't care. Mali, they chase them away. Burkina Faso, they chase them away. Niger Republic, they chase them away. I think Senegal or one other country, they chase them away. This is the same France that our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are doing boyfriend and girlfriend. At least we need to but what up? They know how they pick their leaders, because the technology of beavers and IRF is not Nigeria. Telling you, it is the West that may have provided that technology. So how come there's something and somebody switching off IRF because it is going towards a certain pattern? Does Nigerians have the technology? That's my question. These beavers and what have you, where did we get it from? Which company provided the beavers? During the last time Biden and Trump had an election, I followed that election. I saw how the Republicans were talking about how the machines were misbehaving because there is a manufacturer option to manipulate the machine. So it is so obvious that the system we are practicing today will never amount to anything. Oh, Nigeria will be self-sufficient. How many years now? How many years? Tinubu they spend 2 years. You don't spend 2 years, but still petrol is still 900. It's just jack up like that. They are now using all these petty talk. And don't worry, it didn't start today now. Buhari started his own. It didn't start today now. From 97 naira, it reached 180 something naira. It didn't start today now. It didn't start today now. You are stealing billions, you are printing trillions, theft, everything, stealing upon stealing. Stealing. We heard that EFCC found 80 billion in the account of an arrested NNPC MD. One person. Look at what was discovered from Emefiele. One person. And we have over 200 people working with the president. If one person can be able to hold that, what are the other people doing? So every year in, year out, they come to tell you and bamboozle you and tell you that calm down. It reached time. Calm down now. Calm down. It is not today. From 100 something, you jack up to 900. You are buying for 900 now. They will still remove fuel electricity subsidy. Telecommunications network are overcharging. Bank charges don't reach like 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. If you are going to transfer, they collect 15 naira, collect 10 naira, they collect 25 naira. If they are going to even send you a message, you receive an alert, you receive a debit, they are collecting 6 naira. Everywhere, Nigerians are the one bearing the brunt. Nothing is improving. They lie. You see the refinery issue. APC influencers, how they talk about refinery. It work. It took them 2 years to now tell the truth. Obasanjo article have said, let us sell this refinery scrap. APC people were saying, hey, these people, they are thieves. They want to sell Nigerian property to their friends. Upon everything they said, just last week, $800 something million expended on making these refineries work. They are suggesting they sell it. How many years they have been deceiving you? You are 20 now. You are watching this. You are 21, 22, 23 now. You are watching this because I wonder if young people are interested in politics of their country. You are 40, 30, 35 now. You are watching this. If these people keep on deceiving you, Nigeria is going to get better. You go reach 20 years, you don't reach 50, your time don't go. Why you keep hoping and hoping and hoping on a people that are meant to deceive you? I've said it. If you want to be a successful politician, you must be a liar, a wicked person, and a chronic manipulator. That is the qualification of an average politician in Nigeria. You see Nnamdi Kanu, the analysis I listened to the other time, they put him amongst top African heroes because this young man was after the liberation of his people. How did revolution happen in those days? How did revolution happen? The French Revolution, the British Revolution. Sure, people know, they're not unalive people. Is there a revolution that you think that will not, a lot of things will have to go for revolution, for change to take place? Because those that are on that seat, they will do what they can to make sure that your protest does not yield fruit. Like I said, for instance, you want to protest now. Okay, they increase this fuel subsidy. Maybe 1,000 per unit. They now remove it totally. You're paying 2,000 per unit. We no go agree, yo. We no go agree. You can't placard. We no go agree. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day. They'll be looking at you. Until you want to get to 1 month, they'll now find a way to destabilize you and put allegations on you. These are the people that you want to do democracy. See democracy now. See APC and Buhari and Tinubu. Democracy, federal character. Look at what they are doing. They call your bluff. They bribe anybody. That is democracy. For you as a person. Freedom of speech, freedom after speech is not guaranteed. They want people to just sit down. They don't want people to come out and express, or they don't want to. I don't know. They are the ones that determine what is constructive criticism. Okay, for instance, let's look at the power sector. Look at Adelabu. Now, whatever is going to, subsidy is going to be removed totally. Why do they want to remove subsidy? They will not tell you why they are removing subsidy. They will just tell you subsidy will be removed. And they will just give one flimsy excuse. And what if we're going to criticize them constructively? Said, now, all the monies expended from Obasanjo till now, all the monies expended on our electricity sector, what have they used that money to do? Court will come, give this one will steal 10 billion. Court will give her 100,000 bail. And they expect you, which constructive criticism, when the people that are in charge of our affairs are the ones that are the trouble, that are the problem of Nigeria. I've said this, if Nigeria gets better, it will not be to the benefit of these politicians. They never want Nigeria to get better. No. That's like the way Southeast governors never want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Never. Because if Nnamdi Kanu is released, Nnamdi Kanu will disrupt whatever they think, whatever mandate they are holding. That's when you will know who is the real boss in the Southeast. So let's go back to what is transpired in court today. So the federal government wants to use backdoor, look for evidence, audio evidence against Nnamdi Kanu to hold him down and make sure they find a way, because they will not sentence him to any. No, that one will not happen. It will not happen. No, they will not do that. Probably they want to find a way to hold him in a certain area and look for conditions to. If you are going to release you, these conditions, because you know that we hold you for this area, you are guilty of this, we can push this. Maybe that's what they are going to do, because Nnamdi Kanu, no, Tinubu will not dare do that. We know, will not do it. Will not do it. If you're asking me, let the law have his course. And let the law have his course now. Should be law don't release them. The federal government no release them. So don't. If I say Tinubu no, we'll say, someone will ask me, is Tinubu court release them? Why is that the federal government refused? Why is that the federal government was able to carry him illegally from Kenya into Nigeria? If you are talking about justice, fairness, and equity. So the federal government knows that it is political solution that is the answer. I don't know what they are bringing before Nnamdi Kanu table. I don't know what they are saying, but I understand one thing, and that thing is that Nnamdi Kanu will be free, and he must go back to his people. and we must restructure Alibo. See, we have people who are, see, becoming a Nigerian is, I don't know how to say it. Nigerians are foolishness. When you see people speak, talk about policies and talk about, react to some of the things the government is doing, you just get mad. You just get mad because, so let me read this. Federal government played some of the Radio Biafra broadcast and videos made by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in court to establish an allegation of terrorism preferred against him. The broadcast and video documents, which were marked as exhibits, were tendered through the second prosecution witness, identified as BBB, before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja. BBB, who testified behind screen, provided by the court, said Kanu admitted making the broadcast and the videos while being led in evidence by federal government lawyer Chief Adegboyega Awomolo. So one of the radio broadcasts made by Kanu on Biafra 2020 NSAS protests, in a live broadcast, Kanu was heard calling on the youth to attack the police officers and soldiers anywhere they were found. So this is an evidence presented in court. We'll be back for any other development we have been able to gather from Nnamdi Kanu's prosecution or persecution by the federal government.